Welcome, everyone. This is Lipedema Wellness Conversations with Gail. That would be me. I'm Gail Straker, Community Manager for Lipedema Simplified. And I'm here today with my friend, Kristen Weigand. Did I pronounce that right, Kristen? Weigand?
Wigging, like you're wigging
Like
out.
Wiggin. Oh, like I'm wigging out. Okay, so Kristen Wiggin. And Kristen is one of our lipedema community members. And I've known her for about a year and a half,
Two.
2 years now. Time flies when you're having fun or
Yes.
when you're busy. Take your pick because sometimes when you're busy, it's not always fun. It's just busy. And it just seems
Mhm.
like the summer has gotten away from us. But anyway, earlier this summer, we had some pretty fun stuff happening, and Kristen was able to participate in that. So, hi, Kristen. How are you doing today?
Good. It's a beautiful sunny day and it's not as hot as it has been, so we're doing well.
And you're located in the Sacramento, California area,
Yes.
correct? Yeah.
Correct.
And you never know with Sacramento. Sometimes sometimes it's balmy and
Yeah.
other times it's like, "Oh, I live in the desert." So, you know,
So true.
yeah. So if you get a chance, if the audience gets a chance, if you'll go ahead and put in where you're located and what your weather is like, and there's reasons that we ask you guys to share that. It's not just a time filler. Kristen and I are both old teachers, retired teachers. And, one of the things that we really hated to do is have to do busy work, right?
Mhm. Yes.
It's like, and because the kids knew it was busy work.
Always.
Yeah. And they wouldn't do it. Um, so, so, so what we find we are asking our audience to do is to share the weather. And the reason we ask the audience to share the weather is the weather often um, it gives us the weather often affects our self-care,
Right.
right? Whether it's being able to get out of the house and being able to drive or having to wear clothes that when we don't want to and those sorts of things, right? Being able to get in the pool or not. And
Hmm.
so the weather always seems to have some type of effect on how we manage lipedema in our lives. And so I'm going to I'll come back and we'll have a little weather report from around the nation, in the world. But other than that, Kristen, how are you doing today? You said you're doing great. I've already asked you a question, but how is today different than like last month or the month before? Has things changed for you?
Yes. Um, you know, one, the weather always affects me. It also affects my grandkids, and my husband especially. My husband has Parkinson's, and the the amount of the heat dictates where we can go, what we can do, when can we go out to the pool, and whether that's even a doable, and how long can I be away from my husband, even to do grocery shopping, um, because it just it's I'm in one of those. I'm in it. I turned 65 this year, and my co-in-laws did, and we've had issues with relatives. My mother-in-law passed away. My co-mother-in-law is in a care facility right now because she was out in the heat, and it passed out, and she lives alone, and we
Yeah,
didn't realize it. And we have to all be so careful about what we do in the heat, about whether we have balance issues, whether we have heat issues, whether you have diabetes, all what co things do we have that we need to be aware of. And also, who do we need to make sure we're checking in on? I'm very much about, trying to check on people because even right here, that's what I love about our lipedema simplified is our smaller groups. It's like we're always checking in on each other. We're always finding out, okay, what's going on in each other's lives, what can we do to help, and always being there to support each other. I know that, I'm not in this alone. I'm not in my lipedema alone. I'm not in my lymphedema alone, and I'm not in my caregiving alone. It's
Right.
it's an absolutely amazing, wonderful team. Just group of wonderful friends.
Yeah, and it's really interesting, Kristen, because every time we get on one of these and I have a community member come on with me, um, I hear, well, with lipedema simplified, I don't feel alone. And sometimes I think, oh, people just think this is a sales pitch. But
Mm-mm.
I never ask you guys what has this community meant to you, what has become everybody who comes on who is a community member comes on and they, they are just like you go, but I'm not alone, right?
Yeah.
Because we check up on each other. And even here on these lives, which are out online, right? I mean, we're at Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, right? Even here on all of these, there are people here going, "Hi, Kristen and Gail," right? Like Marilee is here, and Cheryl Edwards, she comes on all the time, and it's 73, but feels like 69. It's so good, right? Because it feels like it's cooled down. And Lynette is here. We see
Awesome.
her a lot. She's from
Yeah.
Anchorage, she says it's a sog fest, which probably means there's a lot of water, but they needed the rain, right? And so we see Juanetta, we see Kathleen here. Patsy has just recently joined us.
Mhm.
In the last few weeks, Karen Priestman, we see her all the time. So I see people on these lives that are familiar and they make a connection and you don't feel alone. It's good to see Susan Keenan. Um, she's from Arizona. Nancy Smith is here, Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Janine's here from North Dakota. Let's see, Cheryl is from Wisconsin, and Sandra Bagwell's here. And some of these people in our audience today are new. They're like recent, like the last month they've come in from Lipedema Awareness Month. They started noticing that we have this community. And so even if you're not a member of the tribe or you're not a member of our smaller courses, you can meet people at the webinars, you meet people online here, and there's a connection that you make. And in June, Lipedema Awareness Month. Oh my gosh, it's already been what, 6 weeks ago was June. Oh my gosh, summertime's gone by fast. But you guys made connections in
Heart to heart
at the
meetup.
small meetups that were called the circles, right? And you held one,
Yes.
didn't you? And can you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, it was really wonderful. We I had to switch my day because of my mother-in-law passing, and well, she when she had a aneurysm, but first, and and so some of the people couldn't come that were going to, but it ended up that I met some wonderful people on a different lipedema group and invited them. It's one where we check out what we're wearing and what fits and what works well to wear because we all kind of need that. Or some of us like to. It's like, well, what's working for you? um, and then so I had two women that were from that and that came in. And so it was just a wonderful time of sharing what we do for ourselves, healthcare wise. I mean, self care. What type, who we see doctor wise, who we're looking for, lots of questions, um, types of things. What works for you? What have you tried? It's just a wonderful time to just get to know people. We had just a really nice visit, and then just being able to kind of find out where we all are and what our needs are.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
this was held in person.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so which was wonderful, and I held one here in Boise, and I had a um, a member of the community who moved into Boise a year ago, from Michigan, and she was there, and I had a couple other people. I had a lady who drove over 200 miles
Wow. That's
to come
wonderful.
to mine, and she says, "I'm a lurker, I go to all the webinars, I do all this other stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, well, hello." She was so excited. It's kinda like, "Well, I know you, but you don't know me," kind of thing,
Yeah.
and,
Yes.
and that's really okay, because I was that lurker for the longest time, I'll tell Siobhan, "Oh, Siobhan, I was following you way before you started following me." Because I'm willing to drop a name any old time, right? I mean, I know Siobhan Huggins. I've hugged Siobhan Huggins. But anyway, but
Yes.
but you know, by knowing that we have these human connections, it makes all the difference in the world. In fact, Nancy Smith right now, she says, she agrees, love that we share a common diagnosis, and in that, we are not alone,
Yes.
right? Um, because the diagnosis of lipedema, lymphedema, all these comorbidities, even without the diagnosis, we feel alone. I get on the risers with 22, 23 other women on a Thursday night, and I got these, and I'm the one with lipedema on those risers. And actually, I was helping somebody. She dropped something. I bent over to pick up something off the floor, and I looked at her ankles, and I'm like, "Oh." Because I don't look at my co-singer's ankles,
Mhm.
right? And so I and I've known her for a while, and so I talked to her about what I had coming up in June, and she went to my lipedema event, and I've shared stuff, and I don't know what she does, because she also has a husband who needs a lot of care. So I don't know how involved she is. She's probably a lurker.
We
Yes.
love our lurkers.
We love that. What? We really do, don't we?
We
We
do.
love we love our lurkers, because, like, right now, I know there are 21 people on this call on Facebook and YouTube, and I got 3 people on Instagram, and I know that not everybody who is watching has signed in with us. I know
Mhm.
that. Because we've got the lurkers, but those lurkers, we love you, because that means you are listening and you're caring for yourself, and that's really important, and it's okay to just keep your own space,
Mhm.
but, with that, a lot of times, we ask people to be involved, and we ask them to be involved, like holding a a circle during Lipedema Awareness Month, holding, being a heart to heart, being a heart to heart guide. And have you done that? Been a heart guide, Kristen?
Yes.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that a lot. Yes. And
Oh, go
it,
ahead.
it's nice to also, when we just, when we start getting to know some of the lurkers, and then encouraging them to ask questions or to share things, in, like, when we have our heart to heart, then we are in a group where it's just us talking in a small room. We can't can we see each other? Yes. And yeah, and so that's, but you don't have to have your picture showing. So a lot of people will just have their name, um, but then we get to know their name, and eventually we get to know their face. And then we encourage them to maybe share a little bit at a time, just because we want to be able to support them and find out what they need.
Right, right. And our next heart to heart, so our next big event, 3-day event, is coming up on September 27th, 28th, and 29th. We're still having an early bird special, which is $97. I mean, this is like 3 days. That's less than $33 a day for an 8-hour day. I mean, you get so much. We have Dr. Roxon, we have Bill Rapici, we have Dr. Nadir Ali. Um, I'll be there if that matters in the
I'll be
event.
there
You'll be there.
on a
You
top.
know, yeah. So, it's like we have all these people who are gonna be there, but what's really exciting um, about this is we have small groups, we have and some people kind of panic a little bit for the breakout rooms. And because it's like, "Uh-oh, I don't wanna talk to anybody." Or maybe I'm at work and I'm just listening and I can't talk to anybody, and that's okay. We go into a breakout room, you don't have to turn your camera on. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you can't wait to turn your camera on and discuss what the speaker just talked about, right? And so it's just amazing, and we have inside those breakout rooms, we have heart guides. Kristen was a heart guide, and and pretty much what they are, there's a person there to keep the conversation going in the direction they want it to go. We want it to go in, and be there to hold you safe.
Yeah.
Just with an open heart, there's no judgment. It's just like, "Hi, I too have lipedema." It's kind of like, "I have lipedema. How are you?" "Wasn't that speaker great?" "This is what they were talking about. What did you get out of it?" So it's a conversation, and then, you can have your camera on, off. You don't even have to have your mic on. You can put anything you want in the chat, or you can just listen. And these are small groups of 5, and what we find, and Kristen, I don't know how you felt about it, but what we find we get in our feedback is the breakout rooms aren't long enough.
Yes.
You know, we really love the breakout rooms. They're
Yeah.
not long enough. Yeah, so I am going to put the the link. Sorry, it took me a minute. I'm gonna put the link for the Heart to Heart event, which is in September. I'm gonna put that link into the comments right now so that
Wonderful.
you guys can click on that and register if you haven't registered for it yet. It's going to be an amazing event this year.
I wanted to share, because a lot of us, we kind of at first are a bit self conscious of what we look like or what we sound like. I know that it was like, okay, am when you self-diagnose, it's like, okay, are they going to all say that I'm, wrong, or is there am I really a quack? Am I just want, I mean, it's like all these things can run through our heads. And just know, hey, you aren't the only one that has those things running through your heads. And but no matter what, we try and always create a safe place. We get to know each other in so many different ways. So I too highly recommend coming to the Heart to Heart event, because you just learn so much, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's me. Oh, I've always had that. Oh, I always wondered why, or how that related, or it just all kinds of um, I you know I, gold nuggets. It's basically every single time that I hear somebody, it's like I'm always listening for the gold nuggets, and there always are. And and it's like it's so exciting when we have finally this mystery solved, or it's like the puzzles to the piece start coming together, and we didn't even have a clue. some of the things that we didn't know that we didn't know that,
Mhm.
I mean, it's like you don't know until you know. And
Right.
so you don't even catch things. And so it's like it really can free up your whole world when you come to these, because you get to know you and you aren't so weird. I mean, I always look at myself as weird. Some people look
Yeah,
at that as a bad word. In our family, weird is a wonderful, good word, and so is not normal.
right.
That's my kid's favorite thing. That's what they call my husband. You're just not normal,
Yep.
and that's the way we roll. So a lot of us are a little bit unique.
Yeah. Oh, very. You know, that reminds me, a couple of years ago, I got my postcards. I got my postcards with the legs, right?
Right.
And, when I've lived with okay, we live in a multi-generational household. My, my kid, their wife, baby little girl who's now almost 8, my husband and I, we all live in the same house. We love it. We're not going anywhere, you know? I think there are a lot of multi-generational households out there, and, my I'm I'm I've always been the fat girl in my life, right? And I hobble a little bit and sometimes a little bit more on some days than others. Have to
Mhm.
make sure I wear the right type of shoes, have to make sure that I get my legs moving in the morning, have to I have all these things I do and everything, and my daughter-in-law said to me one day, she's looking at the postcards, and she goes, "That looks so painful." Now she's watched me for years. I mean, 17 years she's known me, but she says, "That looks so painful." So not connecting that I live in pain, but that those legs look painful, and it was like a aha moment for her. And so even though and I'm thinking and I told her, I said, "It is. It is." And it was almost like she had never considered that people who have legs like ours, arms like ours, are live in pain, right? Because we keep moving along. And so that awareness and since then it's kind of been like, "Oh, I get it. I get what you're going through." And then there's that level of compassion. And so there are when you go into a small group of other people with lipedema, you already know. There are there's unspoken things. You already know because 'cause you're living that life, right? And there's affirmation, but then what if I don't feel pain? What if my legs aren't shaped right? What if I am self-diagnosed? Which I am. I just had affirmation from a medical provider who has actually looked at the book and go, "Oh, yeah, that is what you have. Let's figure out more about this." So it's like those of us who are self-diagnosed, sometimes we feel like imposters, I think.
That's the word.
Yeah. And, so normal is overrated, let your freak flag fly. I love it.
Like
Thanks,
that.
Manetta. I ain't got no choice. It's gonna fly regardless. That's right. And, Patsy says, "Our flags can fly side by side," right? Um, because Patsy has said, "I'm not normal, and I'm proud of it. I worked hard to be this being." Exactly, exactly. Um, and so sometimes when we wonder, are we are is this an okay, so go from normal to is this normal lipedema that I have? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's such a thing. We have a we have this thing out right now, and it's just this fabulous paper. It's called the Roadmap for Diagnosing Lipedema. It's by the Lipedema Project. I'm going to put the links in the comments. You can share it. print it out, hand it out, do whatever you want with this. This is so fun. Have you seen this yet, Kristen? Have you
I'm not sure if I've seen this one.
This is what we
So
call it's what we call the one pager.
I think I do. Yes.
Okay.
It's so
So
nice.
yeah, so this one pager that we back here in the lipedema team, me, Catherine, Siobhan Lesson, Lisa, we call it the one pager because it's actually two pages, but it's one page back and front. And one side's for the doc. One, please read it. Please read the side that's for the doctor. The other side's for you to fill out, to check mark, to look at the has pictures. That's what I love
So
about it.
helpful.
And all of us have gone, uh, those look like my legs, right? Or those look like my arms. Well, I say, oh, that looks like my bottom. In fact, that looks like my bathing suit. I think that's my tattoo.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, that's me. And as crazy as it sounds, I act that actually gave me affirmation to have my legs, my on this thing, the real life. This is Gail's butt. um, it gave me affirmation that I'm not losing my mind.
Right.
That those are that everybody on the team goes, "Oh yeah, that's a good picture of a lady with those those hangy overs right there and that tuck in right there at the back of the knees and the lopsided butt and you know, oh, there you go, Gail." And so it's been really it was very affirming that I didn't just make this stuff up.
Right.
Sorry.
No,
So
it is. I mean, I don't can't tell you how many of us are like, go through a phase of, am I making this up? Am I, is this really real? And, am I an imposter?
and I, and imposter syndrome is I think very common for those of us with lipedema
Mhm.
because so many of it people have told us it's in your head. What do you mean it's painful?
Yeah.
You just need to lose weight.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong with your legs. You're just obese, or what you just have swelling. There's nothing wrong with your legs. Just, put your feet up. And I really think that we have imposter syndrome along with it.
That's why I wear this shirt
I
because
love that
I
shirt.
have armor on, and it's like, nope, I'm bright and shiny. I'm a star. I got all kinds of things going on, and you can say anything that you want about me, but I know who I am. I
Yep.
can stand strong. I can be me, and I'm a good me. I'm the best me that there could be.
Actually, you are. You are. And I wanna talk a little bit about more about you because I can talk about me all my life. Um, well, everybody already knows that. And so tell me a little bit about how you discovered you had lipedema to start.
Well, You know, I have this little issue with my head that I can't remember things real good, so I get parts and parts. Um, I do remember the first time when they talked about having pain and how it goes changing from every time that you have hormonal changes. When I heard that, and then the pain in the legs, I was like, oh yeah, oh and bruising. I always had white legs with with pink, orange, and purple bruises everywhere, and it's like my mom would be like, "What did you do?" And I'm like, Nothing. I have no idea. What did I touch? Nothing. I mean, I do have a belief that, it's like you haven't played unless you have, scabs and bruises. I mean, on your elbows and stuff, but not up and down your shins and all over. So when I heard that, that was one of my biggest.
Um, okay, I think I lost Kristen. She's talking about bruising, and so often our bruising, we just think that it's what
My phone is connected to the iPad, and I didn't realize it wasn't off. Um,
okay, okay.
and so
It's coming
anyhow,
back to
so it
us.
was it was hearing little things like that, that all of a sudden I'm like, my little antennas went up, and I'm like, wow, that's the first time that I've heard anybody talk like that, anybody say anything about this, uh, anything about any of this. And so the more I listened, the more I found all these different is like, oh, yeah, no, those aren't just my thunder thighs. That's what I always call them. I always call them my thunder thighs. Um, and and so it, I honestly don't remember where I heard it first. Isn't that weird? I don't remember. I mean, it
Mhm.
was here, but it was in this group. But at the same time, I don't know what I was doing that I heard it. So, um, but when I started hearing it, it was like I just started paying attention. And so that's the wonderful part, is just it's like, oh, I'm part of this group. I mean, oh, I'm not I other people have this too, because I just thought I was. We always kind of said, we always have things that are really unusual. If you're going to have something, you're going to do it to the nth, and you're going to do it like nobody else does. So I just thought it was one more thing that was like nobody else does. um, and and then finding out that, it's like, oh, and lymphedema is with it. It can be, or can come from it or from others. But I've had Hodgkin's, 4 times now. And so I never would know what was from what. Everything just kind of was in this big pile. And so it was kind of
Yes,
interesting for the first time to be able to pull certain things out and go, oh, this goes with lipedema. Or,
right,
and so I just started finding out and being able to make connections, and then being able to get my eyes open
right.
to what lipedema is. And it was beautiful and wonderful and freeing. It was freeing.
Yeah,
And everybody that I meet has got, we've got all got a little bit of real unique, fun, different personalities, and so that's another fun part of it. So we look for the good, we look for the joy, we look for how can we help each other, and that's been the biggest. And then I'm always learning new things,
yeah.
always learning new things, how I can help myself, how I can help others.
So
So
so you have,
I can't
oh,
hear you.
you can't hear me? Okay, that's your volume because I'm on full volume.
Hmm.
I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me at all. You can't? Okay. So read my lips, Christi.
It's
Okay.
too funny.
Okay. So
But you
add
can hear me?
yes.
Okay.
So we'll have to end this pretty soon. Um, no, it's okay. So so Kristen, I believe it's probably going to be your volume. It's okay. She's going to log off, um, and hopefully log back on with her volume. And so what I was going to say is Kristen has a very unique situation where she is also she needs care, so she could be from her husband as much as he can, and and then she has to give care to her husband because he has Parkinson's. And so in the unique situation, and here she comes back on.
I
Mm,
accidentally hit the wrong button. But
okay.
it
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay. Well, I was just introducing that you have a unique situation where you and your husband both have issues where you have to care for each other,
Yes.
and because he has Parkinson's, and you have several situations besides lymphedema, and other care that you're both caring for each other. And he's had a couple of rough weeks, and you discovered some of your self-care has made a difference in his life. And what have you been doing that's making a difference for him?
Well, in one of the groups, we were talking, and in one of the books from the book club also. So there were several things that we were doing all at once. And so in our small group with Miranda, because we do exercises together in the mornings, and in our books, we were talking about using essential oils on our feet.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so yes, and so periodically I do it with myself, but I found that he freezes, and then he also, and that causes pain in his legs and his feet, etc. So I started putting some lavender essential oil on the bottoms of his feet right before he goes to bed, to help him to just relax and to go to sleep. And I put the essential oils on, and then I get my I have lavender lotion too. But I try and use ones that are organic, because I want to put as clean. I try and make everything in our life as clean as possible, everything that we put on or in our bodies, because that we found has made a difference.
Yeah.
And so I massage his feet and his toes and his, now I can do his legs. He used to be very sensitive and ticklish and all. So I can now do his hands. He has one that just totally freezes up. So I do massage his feet and his legs, and I do his shoulders and his hands, and he can tolerate that real well. And we deep breathe together, because boy, deep breathing in lipedema in life is so essential, to just we to detox, to be able to just, and to get enough oxygen in. Uh, I've had congestive issues, and so we're just making sure that I'm getting enough oxygen as well. And so those are two of the biggest things. And in Miranda, we always talk about the how the placement of our foot, the three parts, and landing it flat, and that's really important. With anybody that's having walking issues. And so, I massage those areas, but we also talk about positioning and what have you. But
Right.
uh, and our biggest thing too is making each other laugh. I've always
Right.
said, that we've talked about it so much in our groups about um, doing just bringing joy to each other, and and finding little ways to make each other laugh, and dad jokes, and Calvin and Hobbes, and I love Lucy.
Yeah.
So
So
that's been a lot of fun, being able to just in the little times, being able to, in all, in just any moment, to be able to just have a good time together.
right, right. And you mentioned the word Miranda. We have an exercise group with the tribe, which is the paid membership of Lipedema Simplified. And we have an exercise group that we exercise 5 days a week, together in the morning. We have some talking time. We have we have a little bit of exercise, and we have more talking time. So it's mostly talking, it's it's not 50-50. It's more like 60-40, right? We have a little bit more
We
talking than we
schmooze.
we schmooze. A little bit more talking than we do exercise, but the exercise is deep, simple stretching for, breathing, for gaining mobility. And so it's Miranda Esmond White who runs Eccentrics, who you actually got to meet
I
last year,
I did.
which I'm so excited about. And one of the things that she always talks about in these videos that we watch is that our balance really starts with the strength of our feet. And so some of the things what she does is kind of like if you were to look online for foot yoga, right? You would do the same things. It's the stretching of the toes and the pointing of the toes and the flexing of the feet and the lifting of the heel and just really focusing on the feet, because when we start to lose our balance, everything gets stiff on our feet and our ankles, and we lock things in and things like that. And so that's one of the things that we do with our tribe members is the tribe some of the tribe members run this exercise group. We call it Miranda because Miranda Esmond White is the videos that we watch. And so that's, when you hear us talk about that, that's what that is. But then the other thing that you talked about is the deep breathing.
Yes.
And, we've actually had breathing
Experts.
gurus, experts come on our events, or we have laughter yoga, and those sorts of things. So
Yeah.
check out online, laughter yoga. That one is you'll find a lot of stuff short, looks ridiculous, feels good, right? Um, and and I want to just let's see. First of all, Paige wants to come live with you. And actually, you want her to come live with you because she's a phenomenal cook,
Oh, good. I'll massage and she can cook.
right? um, and then um, and then Tamara wants to watch the replays. Michael wants to know calluses on the heel edge. There are calluses on that heel edge, and if you well, now I don't use one of those things because I'll bleed, but but apparently Kristen's been giving pedicures.
Yes.
Nice, go get a nice pedicure, get a good foot massage. And the other thing is there's a lot of sensitive points on our feet that calm our bodies down. So a foot massage is really good. Margaret says, hello from Ohio. My husband has Parkinson's also. Agent Agent Orange victim. I'm the caregiver with lipedema, so I understand. Sounds like you're doing a great job, Kristen. So, yeah, and Margaret, yes, I'm sure that you are also doing a good job. You guys are a team and you're working in this together.
Yes.
Yeah. So Patsy says, I can stand on my vibe. I can I can't stand on my vibe plate yet. I'm assuming that's what it means because of the word yet. I do all those feet exercises as I sit and vibrate. Wow, what an improvement. So you do the heel, you lift your heels, you sit with your feet on the vibration plate. Now you can do it on the floor, you can do it in a carpet, barefoot, I'm assuming. I don't know, maybe not. Um, I know I do mine barefoot. Stretch out my toes, put my toes together, lift my toes, lift my heels, point. Um, it makes a world of difference to do foot exercises. So I know that we all are dealing with either the fear or the progression of immobility. And it's amazing how working with our feet makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
We always worry about everything else, but this is it's amazing. I mean, I think sometimes we forget. We work on MLD,
Yes.
And we work on making sure we have compression, make sure that we, eat right, but what about our feet? Take good care of our feet and our skin. Fiona always says skincare comes first, and it's, so do a check, make sure your feet are okay, make sure your legs are okay, you have no sores. There's so many things about self-care that we really need to make sure that we're doing. Um,
Yeah, our
Becky,
skin can get thin,
yeah,
and we
yeah,
have,
yeah,
you have to be aware of these things.
yeah, yeah. So that's part of our self-care is loving our body. She's been there with us this whole time. She's still there with us now. Love her and make sure, just like if you had a child or a puppy or a husband or a wife or a goldfish, you got to take a look at them, make sure they're doing okay. That's like our bodies. We have to take a look at her and say, are you okay today? And let's check you out. Let's make sure you're okay. So I'm also going to bring this up from Becky. This is all new to me. I'm having a lot of trouble accepting this. I hear you, Becky. I really do. There's a level of denial so many of us go through. It's part of the mourning of the grief of losing in our thought our future. And so our future is changing. I also have MS, and my husband has to be my helper. Yes.
Mhm.
I'm needing a knee replacement bad. Doctors don't want to do it because of the lymphedema and MS. I just spent 3 months living in our camper in Texas doing daily extreme wraps. My balance is horrible also. I haven't found an exercise group. I had the deep breathing with massages while in Texas. Yes. So, um, I want to make a suggestion about an exercise group, Becky, if you can. If you can get into a pool, um, or a silver sneakers, or a chair yoga exercise group. Um, there are online, there are groups who are out there. And chair yoga is really good for us because you breathe, you stretch, you build strength, you focus on. It's not like a gym where where you have to lift weights and stuff. Yes, and when Meta says walking in the water, best compression movement in one. Thank you, Juanetta. And also, so that way, if you can't make it to a water aerobics class, and if you're concerned about what you're wearing to get in the pool, wear a pair of sports capris, a tankini top, or a swim shirt. If you're concerned about getting in the pool in a bathing suit, um, find something that you're comfortable in. Some of our women wear knee length like bike shorts. Others wear full length clear down to the ankle compression type garments like a sports capri. So it's going to be up to you on what you're comfortable wearing in a pool. You might have no problems and go out there in your bikini. That's fine too, because why not, right? This is my body, here it comes. Or you might say, this is my body and I'm going to keep this portion of it covered. So, you, if you have a hard time getting in and out, there are pools that have a ramp, like a little kids pool, or there are pools that have slow steps, and you might have to get the pool you have might have to have the chairlift, depending on what you're capable of doing. YMCA's, um, rec centers, city or can't town rec centers are good. You might have a pool in your community somewhere. Juanetta wears swim leggings. I do too. And she also wears a swim jacket covered from wrist to ankles. And mine I'm covered from just below my knee to my shoulders, but I'm also not in a public pool. When I go on cruises, I have a little swim jacket that I wear. They're called rash guards. They're for
Yes.
sun protection, and so swimwear isn't necessarily a tank suit anymore. So, okay, so I'm going to put this up. I have wounds on my leg, almost healed, then opened again. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kathleen. Take
Oh,
really good care of those. That's tough stuff. I hope that you get good wound care. And then, like Juanetta says, nobody sees my bits for free. Good for you, Juanetta. um,
mm,
yeah, and then of course, Kathleen says she did water aerobics for around 15 years, and about that wound, she just can't get cellulitis again. No, cellulitis is one of the things we all always have to watch out for, because our skin's fragile. So we've been on this for about 51 minutes, Kristen.
but it's
We
been
can go
fun
ahead. Kristen,
conversation with everybody. I love
Kristen,
everything. That's
you and I we talk all the time. We talk like what 5 days a week or so. Um, so it's always nice hanging out with a friend. But I want everybody to know that um, we have something going on every day.
mhm,
It seems like
almost.
there's yeah. I am not going to be here next Tuesday.
Ooh,
Um, I'm going to be on vacation. I'm and
yay.
it's and that next Tuesday
Oh,
is
and it's your birthday.
my birthday, and I'm taking it off.
Woohoo!
Um, but less and but um, we have a live at least 3 days a week. We have um, we have our free webinars this Thursday. I'm going to put that link in again for those of you who might have missed it. Let me grab the free webinar link. It is with the amazing Dr. Leslyn Keith and Dr. Catherine Sayo. And I want you guys to be able to go to that. Sign up for it even if you can't attend. It's at 6 o'clock
Yeah.
Eastern. Everything's in Eastern on Thursday. And even if you can't attend, you'll get the replay. Let me pop that into Instagram real quick. I kind of have to do that at a different space. And somebody on Instagram said, and I usually don't read the comments on Instagram, but um, this one says, "It's amazing to see laughter and happiness, even though you're experiencing so much. It's good to see you all smiling through this pain and the uncomfortable spaces that you live. Keep on smiling." So there's always positive that we can find. There's always something positive. So Patsy says, it was already an exceptional day. This is the perfect way to begin the wind down. Oh, Patsy, thank you so much. Thank you. Kristen, you know me. I'm always going to give people I'm going to, I keep on thinking it's like the last word, but I give you that time. If there's one more thing that you want to say, or if there's a message that you want everybody to know,
Yeah. I just
what
want
would
to
it be?
really reiterate that whole thing. The just embrace joy. Embrace joy. Don't push it away. Just really embrace it and look for it. It's there. Find the fun, find the joy in the little things. It's usually the little things.
Yeah, it is. And with
Even
that,
this wearing earrings that don't match, or a shirt that says, okay, I've got my armor on, or, I've got my art on, or, yeah, humankind. Yes, be
humankind,
kind to each other.
become, yeah, there's so many. I agree, and know that there are gonna be hard times.
Yes.
There really are.
Yes.
But, oh my gosh, we're here.
Yes.
We're here.
Put one foot in front of the other, step by step, day by day. We're not doing it perfect. We're not doing the best. We are doing
We're doing it.
we're doing better at times,
Mhm.
and we're doing it. We are moving. We are here, and we are together.
Yeah.
Better
Oh,
together.
better together. Kristen, thank you so much for being my guest tonight and for all of my for all of my audience, our audience. I claim everybody. I'm that selfish person. I'm going to claim you. Um, I come I come here with love in my heart. Kristen, I know that you come with love in your heart. And if we do things out of love,
Mhm.
then we know that our community will feel that love. So thank you so much for being here tonight with me, Kristen. And with
Thank you.
that, you're
Thank
welcome. With that, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Bye, guys. See
Bye.
you in a couple weeks.